Hi, I'm Brenna. Thank you for joining me. This is going to be an equestrian focused hip opening stretching series. And these are stretches that I like to do before I horse show on cold or warm muscles. And you can hold these for however long you want. All of these are good options for long holds, and that's like 3 to 7 minutes. And there are more active variations or passive variations. So an active variation is any time that you're keeping the spine long and muscles more engaged. And passive is when you begin to fold and round into the pose. So take these however you need them. So I hope you enjoy. This is my absolute favorite stretch. It's a Baddha Konasana. You can start actively here. You want to take the hands to the outer edges of the feet, with the thumbs in the arches. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, hinge at the waist, bending the elbows and the hips, still keeping your head out and your spine long. Gaze should be near the toes. Inhale again, and exhale, soften a little more. And then from here, you can begin to melt down, rounding through the spine, letting the head drop. You can extend the arms up here or place the palms down. And you can take a pillow, or if you have a horse blanket or something, and you can rest it here so that your head has something to sit on. Or you can just let the head be heavy. The longer that you sit in this pose, the more release you'll get through the hips and the low back. If you get here and you're like, oh my gosh, this is too much for my hips, try inching the legs further away from you. And if that's still not available, you can just do the active version of the stretch and then get out of it and move on. But if you're gonna do a longer hold, you can do that for 2 to 5, even 7 minutes, whatever is comfortable for you. Taking the shavings off my socks. This is a true burn experience. Another good stretch would be to send both legs long, position on your sits bones, bend into one knee, bringing the foot toward the inner thigh. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, turn your torso toward your extended leg and fold over, clasping the foot or coming to the shin here. And again, you want to start with a longer spine and hinging with the elbows and the hips over the leg. Slowly rounding over time. A little engagement in the quad is going to deepen your stretch in the hamstring. So you want to bend the knee a little bit and engage the quad like that, and then hinge, and that'll get much deeper here. And you can experiment with that, see how it feels to have your leg a little straighter, to bend the knee a little more and engage the top of the thigh. Rounding through the neck is always going to help support releasing through the low back, because these curves are sympathetic. So if you're trying to hinge here, but your neck is craned like this, that's going to be very uncomfortable and not be as good for the low back. So making sure that you begin with your hinge, looking out, not up, just out, and then slowly folding in and letting the spine go. And then slowly roll up, switch legs, shake that out, and into your other leg. Same thing this side. Inhale, reach, twist the torso over the leg. Exhale, fold. Try to keep your foot flexed here. And then if it's available to you, take your hand, outer edge of this foot, and twist to open the chest to the ceiling and the side of the room. Opening up with your opposite hand and bringing it toward the outside of the foot, or just reaching it overhead to get a really deep side stretch. Again, hanging out in all these stretches for as much or as little time as you want. I like to do this side stretch after I've done both sides of the forward fold. Shake that out. I don't know, if you're in a barn, you might not want to get so close to the floor. So another one you could do is a figure 4 stretch. And if this isn't deep enough, you can come onto the hands and briefly come into a plank pose, bringing the knee up to the wrist and then folding down into pigeon pose. And you would do that both sides. Try to keep your hips in the same plane here. Don't dip too far one way or the other. Keep them as level as you can. And make sure that this knee is deeply bent and that this foot is toward the opposite hip crease with the toes pointing down. You don't want to try to have this here. Sometimes we're taught to do this, but this creates a lot of stress on the knee. So make sure that this is nice and bent so that you're only getting the external rotation in the hip, because the knee is a hinge joint and it doesn't rotate. So make sure that it's only hinging here. And you can always inhale, lengthen, and then fold. All of these stretches, creating space in the spine before you fold, is so important. And after you've done all of these, everybody loves a child's pose. So you would take the knees open to about the width of the mat, and you're gonna sit toward your heel, toes come to touch. Extend the arms out in front and send the hips back toward the heels. Okay. And then you want to finish off with a twist. You can lay it all the way down. You would come down, cross, and then look out over the opposite fingers. So do that both sides. If you can't do that, you would take one leg long, put the other foot to the outside of the thigh and the knee. Take this arm and hook it here or here. And look out over the fingers behind you. Inhale, lengthen, or exhale, twist. And when you're done, come this way, reverse your twist. Other side. And then reverse. Okay. And that's it.